Welcome to WeekNGeek, your new comic preview for August 3rd. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I am the Chris Brown.
So what do you got?
Well, we're gonna start it off like always. Weekend Flashpoint. We got the Flashpoint books this week. We're gonna start with Flashpoint number 4. I'm curious where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the issue 3 was a lot of fun. We've only got one more issue left.
Yeah.
At the end of the month here. I think Flashpoint's been great, and now I'm even feeling more than ever. Let's lead us up to this to this relaunch.
Yeah, 1 month. 1 month is not a lot of time to recreate the DC universe as we know it.
It's really not, but here it comes.
Here it comes.
Then we got Batman Night of Vengeance number 3. We just had a nice little reveal. It was all over the internet beforehand anyway, so I don't feel like I'm going to spoil within a month here, but Martha Wayne is the Joker. Wow, and this is kind of a cool, interesting cover here. You know, it's always like the exact opposite of what it always is with Bruce sitting there with the chalk outline of his parents. You know, here's Batman and the Joker, chalk outline of a little boy. I'm curious to see how they're going to wrap this up and what they're going to do with Thomas, because Thomas was talking to Barry. He knows something's not right. He just wants to do whatever he can to bring my son back.
Right.
If you can fix the world, and if fixing the world makes my son alive again, then do it. What happens here? I'm looking forward to that.
Half the kind of cleverness goes into the DCNU has gone into some of these reimaginings for Flashpoint. I think we're going to be very pleasantly surprised by what's coming up.
Yeah, and next up we got Deathstroke number 3. I think this has been my favorite. I think this book has been awesome because I'm not a huge Deathstroke fan, so it just kind of came out of nowhere for me. It's just a fun pirate adventure. And Aquaman, I mean, they've made Aquaman a badass. Mm-hmm. So in the last issue, you know, when he takes the trident and spikes Deathstroke in the chest, like, oh, good God. You know, like, that was pretty cool. You know, obviously he's got a healing factor and comes out of that, but it's been a really cool book. And again, we're on the issue 3s here, so these miniseries are wrapping up and darn near over. Secret 7 has also been a fun book, kind of following the magic stuff. And that's half the stuff I'm interested in to come out of this relaunch anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the stuff that really looks interesting to me. So, yeah, let's see how this thing ends. Looks pretty cool. Then World of Flashpoint. I've been liking it, even though I still don't entirely know what's going on. And what Andrew Alayo was chiming in and saying that, well, the girl is, you know, whatever, 13. I'm like, that's great. I still don't know who that is. I don't know enough about DC, which is why this stuff is so much fun to me, because I feel like I'm really walking through an open door, and I can just walk in and enjoy what's going on. So that's through the Flashpoint stuff. Then we've got one of these image books here, Green Wake. I've been liking this book all the way through. Early on, I was describing it as kind of that Wrist Cutter's a love story, and it took kind of a different turn. Yes, it's this wayward lost souls thing, but it's also it seems to be about lovers trying to find each other again in an afterlife, and maybe you've done something wrong to someone that you cared about, and you end up in this place, and there's a redhead chick that's going nuts and killing people, and okay, wow. That's kind of, there's a big crazy zombie in there. So this book has been kind of fun to me, and actually is this okay, so there's a mini come ongoing. So they've turned this into an ongoing, and I thought they were going to wrap it up, but it looks like it's just going to keep going now. Oh. So
pretty cool.
That makes me a little bit more excited about it. The idea of a miniseries is always, that's great. You know, you get a complete story, but if you can make something go on and on, well, then that'll flesh that story out a little bit more and really see what world they're creating. So then we got some Marvel stuff here. We got the Herc. This is going to be a Fear Itself issue. I've been liking this book. I like Greg Pak. I think he writes just fun superheroes. You know, he's not, you know, one of these guys, for me at least, that oh my God, his writing is just like, He tells fun superheroes, though, and I just enjoy reading his stuff.
That good, classic superhero mid-list Marvel stuff. That is always pretty solid.
And it's nice to have someone doing that sort of. And you need someone that's gonna be a workhorse and just tell good stories. And I think Greg Pak is doing that. You know, we got some of these guys that are kind of the workhorse Marvel guys that I don't understand why they keep getting work. Maybe they're cranking it out, but I don't think they're very good. But I think Greg Pak is a solid writer who I enjoy. Here we got Heroes for Hire, Fear Itself, and am I seeing Kyle Hotz? Ooh, little Kyle Hotz artwork here. I think his stuff is awesome. I got back into him when he did that Hood miniseries with Brian K. Vaughan. And I was not aware that he was doing the Nightman series for Malibu back in the 90s. And there was something about his art that stood out to me, and going through a Malibu collection, maybe a year or two ago, I made that connection. I've liked this guy since I was a teenager. There's something about his artwork that I really, really like. And you know what? It doesn't look like it's all Kyle Hotz. It just looks like maybe some sections of it are. Because some of it doesn't look like him. Well, it does. But yeah, so Heroes for Hire. This has been one of my favorite books since it came out. It's a solid superhero book. It's a fun book. I got a crush on Misty Knight.
He does. Chicks with bionic arms, man.
Well, and she's also got that whole coffee thing going with the afro. I'm loving it. Then Mystic, I've been liking the cross-gen stuff. This one here is written by G. Willow Wilson, who was doing that Vertigo book Air, which it seemed like that kind of ended sort of abruptly, but it was good, and it was strange and different. And this, the artwork here, who we got here, David Lopez, it looks like. It looks interesting. It looks somewhere in between like classically drawn and kind of like a digital rendering, but it looks cool. I usually don't like that, but this looks like fun. And again, I've been enjoying the cross-gen stuff, even though I didn't really read it when it was coming out. And this one, I know you said this one was a surprise to you, coming from me. Punisher #1. I am not a Punisher fan at all, but it's written by Greg Rucka. Is it Rucka or Rucka?
Rucka.
Rucka. Okay. His stuff is usually he writes an interesting crime story, and that's Punisher's a crime story. So for me, I've never really liked the Punisher when he's riding that fine line of, is he a serial killer? Is he a superhero? You got to just get him down to good classic crime stuff, and I think Greg Rucka is going to tell some good stories here. Then we got Red Skull #2. I'm hoping we get into a little more Red Skull. The first issue was, Johann Schmidt killing puppies. I'm kind of anti-killing puppies, I think.
Yeah.
No kind of about it. I'm anti-killing puppies. I understand what they were trying to do, but reading a whole issue where we hadn't even gotten to the Red Skull and it was just a kid kind of going down that bad path, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more arise from her, or at least give us some nice beats with this bad kid that is Johann Schmidt.
Yeah, now we know he's bad. Show us how he's not just bad, but the Red Skull.
Yeah, killing puppies is the easy way out. It's like Martin Scorsese always using that 70s rock-fueled soundtrack. Yeah, that one Rolling Stones song always makes me feel the same way. You don't have to use it in every one of your movies. I get it, Johann Schmidt's bad. You don't have to have him kill puppies.
Yeah.
The Superboy, this book has been solid the whole way through. Jeff Lemire, who I really, really like. He's got an interesting, sort of an interesting approach to storytelling. And I love, I love his Sweet Tooth book. And this is him doing superheroes. And I think he does a great job with it. So Superboy, we got to be wrapping it up. This has got to be the last issue, right? So everything ends in August, huh? So is this the end? Oh, next, the last blast. So I guess we're getting one more issue this month. And then I guess they're trying to squeeze them all out.
Yeah, there's going to be some in August.
So, well, it is August.
Well, more in August.
There's 2 in August, I guess. So
Flashpoint's at the end. We got time.
Yeah. Then more Jeff Lemire. We got Sweet Tooth. This book has been just awesome. And I liked it when it started. I didn't love it. I said, everyone's saying this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And, I don't know. I can do more things with sliced bread. But I like this. And as it goes on, he's really fleshed the characters out better. This art looks pretty incredible, too. Did he just do something different with his art?
Looks like there's
it's
painted art.
Yeah, okay, so he did do the art, but it's Jose Villarrubia did the colors.
Okay.
So that's where you're getting that cool painted style. Wow, that looks great. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really like the Sweet Tooth book, and if you're not reading it, you really should be. Then a book I've been loving all the way through, Screamland. This book is fun. If you like monsters and if you like kind of turning archetypes on their ear, this is it. It takes you through the different genres of monster and through different genres of movie even, and then just throws in a little bit of silliness and makes them real people. And I think the art is fun. The art, I think, also lends a little to the story, because it is odd and awkward and like we said before, a little bit of that adult stuff. It's basically centering around an adult film, but it's gotten past that. Now it's literally a murder mystery, and they're trying to figure out who amongst the monsters would have killed the Invisible Man. And there have been lots of great suspects, but it hasn't been any of them. So Yeah, great book. Love Screenland. Can't say enough great things about it. And that is the bulk of my stack. What do you got there?
Well, I'm going to lead off with a little Hickman love because this is Week and Geek, and there's always Hickman love. This is S.H.I.E.L.D. number 2, continuing what I think is honestly his best work at Marvel. I like the Fantastic Four more because I like the FF more in general.
Sure.
But this is something that is really unusual and clever and different, and it's Michelangelo is now in it, so we got artists and scientists, and it's Michelangelo and Tesla and
Da Vinci
and Newton, and all this stuff going on in the
Nostradamus.
distant past, coming up to the 60s, giving us kind of the secret history of the world, of the Marvel Universe.
Howard Stark and Nathaniel Richards in there.
Yeah, so it's really some good high concept stuff. It's almost barely in the Marvel Universe. This could have worked pretty well on its own.
He could have done anything with it, but he managed to squeeze it into his other stuff.
Yeah,
and Secret Warriors, which again, he could have done with anything, because the only character we really know in there is Nick Fury.
And in this, we don't really know any of the characters. They're historical ones, and then the fathers of guys in the Marvel Universe that we maybe barely know. But anyway, it's a great book. Dustin Weaver is just phenomenal. It comes out bi-monthly, which is sad, but it'll take you 2 months to get through this book because it's very, very dense stuff.
It is, and it probably reads better all together. All at once. I'm not waiting.
I'm not good at that.
I might go back and then read them in a chunk, but I'm reading them from month to month because it's just too good.
Next up is Moon Knight, Bendis and Malieve. This has been a really, really entertaining book.
It's different.
I was a big fan of the original Doug Mensch, Bill Sienkiewicz Moon Knight. When I heard the premise of this, I was not thrilled that they were taking it in a different direction. I thought that the old direction still could work with the right team on it. And this team, when they did Daredevil, did a lot of what was done in that old Moon Knight. But rather than kind of rest on their laurels and imitate what had done before, they came up with a totally new concept for the character, which I've loved. I didn't think I would, but I have. It's been clever. Malieve's artwork. I love the work that he did on Scarlet. I know a lot of people didn't like the level of photorealism. He scaled it back. It looks a little bit more like what he did on Daredevil. He's still using photos, people. He's just not trying as hard to make it look realistic, so you stop bitching about it.
But it looks so good still.
It looks great. He's a great artist. Bendis is a great writer. My only concern is because Moon Knight is not a big gun, it may not sell well enough to last the way Spider-Woman did, and although I didn't like Spider-Woman. But this I've liked a lot, and I think you should give it a shot. My favorite stuff that's been coming out lately have been these retroactive titles. My only complaint really is that DC, rather than coloring them in the manner of old comics, they're colored like modern comics, and then we get a reprint that's in the old style in the back. But other than that, they've been pretty solid overall. I think the first batch was a little iffy because a lot of the creators from the 70s weren't able to come back. But we're looking here, we got Mike Barr and Jerry Bingham. Mike Barr was writing this book when I first got on it. Jerry Bingham did the Son of the Bat.
Oh, okay.
Or Son of the Demon?
Son of the Demon,
Son of the Demon graphic novel. So these are guys who were working on the book in the 80s. And right now, this week and next week are all going to be comics from the 80s. So the first one up is Batman, featuring the Reaper that appeared first in Batman Year 2.
Price sticker and the little box in the corner.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of recreating the look.
Looks very similar to the Whitman reprints that they did of the DC stuff.
It's got the old DC logo. It's got the old Batman logo. I'm really looking forward to this one because this is really the time that I first started getting into reading Batman comics. I always liked other Batman stuff. The Flash, this was out of the 80s, this is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most. It's William Mester Loebs and Greg LaRocque.
Cool.
These guys preceded Mark Waid on the book. That kind of became the definitive book. These are the guys that made me start reading The Flash. This is the team. This is the time period. Sometime in the late 80s, I had started it when Mike Barron took over right after the crisis and dropped it. But Loebs always delivers a great story, a great classic comic book story. Greg LaRocque, I think he's very stylized, very underrated, but he always turns out some really solid stuff. So I loved the 80s Flash, and I'm sure I'm going to love this one.
And Loebs is a Detroiter.
Yes, he is. I've met him several times.
That's fine. Real nice guy. Very, very nice guy.
Next up is the Wonder Woman. This one I'm not really so thrilled about. I mean, I'm not as big a Wonder Woman fan. Not a fan necessarily of Roy Thomas's writing of the character. He wrote her during the 80s. Rich Buckler's a great artist, so is Joe Rubenstein, so I'm looking forward to that.
Rich Buckler, also originally a Detroiter.
Yes. So, I'm getting Wonder Woman because I'm getting the rest.
Okay.
I'm not going to get, if there's 6 books, I'm not going to get 5. There's no point in that. How is that OCD? Next up is Drums, number 3. This is the kind of the supernatural thriller. I'll be honest with you, I have not read issues 1 or 2 yet.
I've been picking it up, but I haven't read them all yet either. But I really like the artwork. I think it looks really interesting. That is something that I'm probably just going to end up reading them all.
Yeah, and that's probably what I'm going to do as well. I'm sure I'll like it. I just haven't gotten around to it. And with a lot of these, you were talking earlier about how you prefer ongoing series to miniseries in many ways. I actually am the opposite. If you've only got 5 issues and you're going to give me something complete and satisfying in 5 issues, I'll give you all 5 issues. I'll give you a shot there. I prefer things like that. But,
well, I can agree with that, but I think for me too, like, it ultimately being an ongoing means you've got a bigger idea, so let's just do this.
Yeah, but it also means you might have a boring idea and we won't find out for 8 months.
Now that happens too.
But anyway, I've been picking up Drums. When it's all said and done, I hope I like it. If not, I've just wasted $9 so far. Moriarty, I'm behind on this one as well, although I have read a few of them. Great concept. Moriarty is Sherlock Holmes' villain. He's the star of this. Holmes is dead, so he has to investigate some
I hear
things.
good things about it, and the art is awesome.
Yeah, it's really,
art
really
is
good
really
book.
nice.
I'm behind, but hopefully I can catch up with last issue and this issue. But really good stuff, really great high concept. I'm sure someone's hoping to make it into a movie before too long.
Of course.
Next up is Hulk. I've been singing the praises of this book for a while. We've got Jeff Parker still writing it. This one's
like
got
the cover.
brand new, kind of actually somewhat scarier MODOK.
Yeah.
MODOK's been pretty good in this book. If you like giant, highly weaponized heads, give this book a shot. Who doesn't like giant weaponized heads?
The communists, that's who.
Yeah. So if you're a communist, then why are you not reading Red Hulk? What's wrong with you?
Brings up an interesting point.
But anyway, and kind of, as an interesting aside on the Hulk, as everybody knows, I've done that strange dance with the Incredible Hulks for a while.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people found that very entertaining. Michael, Carla, I know you like this stuff. And with that ending, I'll need something new to wrestle with myself over, something new to be all angsty over. And I have a feeling it's going to wind up being Irredeemable. It was on a really great arc for a while, and last issue, I don't know, it's just starting to get a little boring again. This keeps happening with this book also, where it'll go for a while, where there's a lot of kind of setup, moving pieces in places. Mark Waid is really good, but we're also kind of, okay, yeah, I get it. It's Superman as if he were evil. That was clever 28 months ago.
To your point about miniseries, this might have worked better as a series of miniseries and just do what you got to do. I started to lose interest in it after a while too because it just started to meander too much.
Yeah. But then, like Hulks, every once in a while when I'm just at that, I don't think I'm going to keep with this book. Something just unexpected and badass happens. So maybe that'll happen here, and every month I can go, well, it's Irredeemable time. Will I drop it? Won't I drop it? I don't know. You tell me. So unfortunately, I don't think Irredeemable is going to get canceled anytime soon. So I'm either going to have to make up my mind or keep buying a book that I'm waffling on for a very, very long time.
You love it.
Yeah, I do. Next up is Batman Gates of Gotham. Again, I've been singing the praises of this and Scott Snyder. This has been a great book. Pick it up. I'm not even going to tell you much more. I've said it many times.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder writes a great Batman. This is a really interesting story looking at the history of Gotham as well as stuff going on in the present. If you're not excited about Snyder's run on Batman, you're absolutely out of your mind. This guy has got it going on.
Yeah, it's everyone. I've got to pick up that detective in trade as soon as that comes out, because that's all I'm hearing is how good it is.
Yeah. Next up, this almost was my pick of the week. It's Ultimate Fallout number 4. If you're watching this and you have somehow managed to avoid the internet, you will find out in this issue who the new Ultimate Spider-Man is going to be. I'm not going to spoil it for you, even though Marvel did and every website out there did.
USA Today. I was standing in line, to get a milkshake this morning, and right on the cover of the USA Today.
Yeah. So
they got the image.
I'm still not spoiling it. It seems like an interesting idea.
Because we're good like that on WeekNGeek. We are not here to ruin your fun.
The book does ship polybag.
Yes, it does. At least it's a clear polybag.
It's a clear one.
I mean, I don't know that that's better or worse, but
and you don't have to flip to the end to find out who it is. You can just look on the internet or USA Today. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but this is very interesting. This is what I think the Ultimate Universe really should have been. This makes me think of DC's Silver Age. We're going to keep the names.
Yep.
Nothing else is going to be the same. I actually hope that they get rid of a bunch of other characters. Kill Thor, kill Iron Man, kill Captain America, whatever. Make all new characters with the same names but different sort of takes. Why not? It's not the real book. You can do whatever you want here.
Yep.
This is a big what if, so ask some serious what ifs. But in any event, if you're a big Ultimate Universe fan, you're probably picking this up.
A lot of people have been. The book's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of hype. This is the first appearance of a brand new Spider-Man who may be around for a long time or probably will be around for a little while. But anyway, that's
sales go.
That's my my big stack. What do you got?
All right. Now we got my top pick is going to surprise a lot of people.
Surprised me.
I'm
still surprised.
I'm a little surprised too. I'm curious about this book primarily because of the writer. Robert Kirkman and Rob Liefeld bring us The Infinite. Conveniently, I'm wearing my Jesus Rises shirt today here because I got a bone to pick with Mr. Liefeld, who still never returned my email, even though he pretty much stole my idea for a webcomic that no one read anyway. So that's okay. I guess I don't care that much, although I'm still complaining about it. With The Infinite, I mean, it's essentially a character from the future has to go into the past. So you have an older version of himself helping the younger version of himself, or vice versa. It's a younger version and an adult version in some period in time trying to accomplish the same mission. And we were talking earlier, with Kirkman, I love Invincible, I love Walking Dead, I enjoy Haunt because it's, primarily Ultimate Spawn, but I don't love everything he does. But he's done so well in the things that I do like that I am willing to give him a chance every single time. Mm-hmm. And this one, I mean, feels like the 90s. Rob Liefeld's artwork still looks like Rob Liefeld's artwork. I'm not going to be a whiny, person about this. Very little backgrounds. You really could have almost just taken panels from his 90s image and just put them in here.
Big thighs and lots of pouches.
Yeah, and big broad shoulders, shoulder pads, receding hairlines. Why is it that all of his characters have a receding hairline? Really? Come on. Rob, get it together. But that's my top pick. I'm interested in it. I'm hoping there's a decent story in here. I guess I'll find out. Mm-hmm. And they pulled the blank cover variant gimmick on us too.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. So that way, and that's kind of better because you got Rob Liefeld did the other 2 covers. You can actually get a cover that doesn't suck.
Yeah. I'll draw one for you.
There you go. Well, and Carla would probably want to know how much that would cost. Carla wanted to know how much the autographs would be.
I'll hook you up. Don't worry about it.
So what do you got there?
My top really shouldn't come as a surprise. We're a big fan.
That was going to be my top pick, and then you put it on your list. So you have this out of me instead.
Yeah, sorry about that. But it's by Scott Snyder. It's a creator-owned image book called Severed. Scott Snyder basically got his start in horror.
Okay, he's a novelist, right?
He wrote prose, then he did American Vampire.
Yep.
I'll admit I haven't gotten American Vampire primarily
it's good.
Because I missed getting it in issues.
Okay.
And I believe DC's just doing hardcovers on that at the moment. So
yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe when the paperbacks come out, I'll give it a shot. But fortunately, still got Detective.
I think I might have most of the individual issues of it, though.
Yeah, I'm still gonna wait.
Okay.
That's a very
But
good
for
book.
those
Here
of
we
you, the
go.
rest of you, I pretty much have most of the original issues.
Come pick
so
'em
you
up.
could pick them up.
And if you want a
interested.
nice premium hardcover, that's great too.
Yep.
It is actually a nice hardcover. I've been very tempted many times, but I've also got a lot of other stuff to read and I'm cheap. But this just absolutely looks great. It's got great
Yeah.
artwork. It's moody. It's creepy. Very very gray.
Looks like a time period too.
It does. It looks like
the
it's a period
30s or
piece.
40s.
That's what it looks like. Definitely the clothing and the style
Yeah.
of things looks like a set in the past. Scott Snyder, great stuff.
Great writer.
We're big fans of creator-owned work here, big fans of the stuff that Image is doing. I am
Yep.
very, very glad to see creators that are doing big stuff at Marvel and DC still taking time to do creator-owned stuff at Image. That I think
Yeah.
only helps raise the profile of this kind of stuff. If you love Detective, give this a shot. And if you love this, look around at some of the other Image stuff that's out there. So, for me, this was a no-brainer when I saw that this was coming out this week. When I saw
I've got
this,
lots of it too. 'cause
when I
it
saw
looked
this
good.
solicited in previews, I was just like, oh, great, I'm down. I'm sold.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you're a fan of Scott Snyder, if you're a fan of Image Comics, if you're a fan of Scary Comics, give Severed a shot.
Agreed. And I'd like to mention one other thing. Can you grab that Hero Comics next to you? The Hero Initiative does a book that they use as a benefit book to kind of raise funds for what it is that they do, where they help creators of comics. And this usually has a bunch of short stories from a bunch of different creators. There is a 3 or 4 page Chew story in here,
Oh, wow.
and there's also a little story that Sam Keith did.
Very nice.
So it looks like there's some decent stuff in here, and that might be of interest to a few people that maybe want that Chew story or something else. And it's usually fun, and it's a great cause. So
If it
you
wasn't-
might want to check that
If it
out.
wasn't for the people at the Hero Initiative is trying to help out, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be watching us. We'd all be doing something far less satisfying and entertaining and
Right.
geeky.
So with that is your Week in Geek.